Hi, this is Chuck from Osprey Retail, and today we're going to touch on the InitDB routine. The purpose of the InitDB routine is to simplify the reseller's experience when either upgrading registers from one version to a new version or doing a full install of OspreyPOS for the registers. Traditionally, once the server database has been correctly configured and items and such set up, the resellers had to back up the database on the server and then restore it as a local database on each client. The InitDB routine eliminates the necessity of doing so. Now, what we're looking at here is a client register. As you can see, it's in local mode, so I can illustrate what exactly is in my current local database. As you can see, it happens to be our default that we distribute with the full install of Osprey Point of Sale. There's no need to actually launch this when performing the procedure. I'm simply doing it to illustrate the before and after. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and exit out of here. My next step is going to be to open up a command prompt as an administrator. On Windows 7, this generally isn't necessary, but on other operating systems it may be, so as a best practice, I always do so. My next step is to navigate to the Osprey working folder, which is going to be on the C drive in the ORS Unified POS folder. So cd/ORS/Unified POS, enter. My next step is going to be to actually run the routine, which is the initdb.bat file. That's located in the util folder, so I'm going to type util/initdb.bat and choose enter. And it's going to launch a progress procedure. The first thing it's going to do is connect to the database, and it's going to restore my local database with an empty database that we can build into. The next step is it's going to go out to the server and it's going to fetch all the records to the local database. This is not a complete copy of the server database, but rather the same records that would be replicated to the point of sale during normal operations, which are things such as items, departments, cashiers, customers, and the like. This process can take as little as a few seconds if it's an incredibly small database, up to several minutes if it's a larger database with tens or even hundreds of thousands of records. Once the records have been retrieved, the next step is for the routine to insert the records into our local database. This is similar to the process of fetching them in that it may take as short as a few seconds if it's a very small database, up to several minutes if it's a larger database with all those records as we touched on. Okay, at this point the process is finished, so I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge the dialog. And as you can see, my process up here finished, so I can go ahead and close this DOS prompt. Now, again, for illustration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and launch the database in local mode again so you can see the difference. So in order to do so, I'm going to disable my network adapter. It's disabled, so now I'm going to go ahead and launch Point of Sale. And as you'll be able to see when it comes up, we have a significantly different database in place now than we did just a couple minutes ago before we ran the InitDB routine. So we'll sign in. And there we have it. We're in local mode with our different database. Now, just to confirm that this is the correct one, which I happen to know it is, but just to confirm it, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to go ahead and re-enable my network connection. And we're going to go ahead and go back into POS, but this time online with the server database. And again, this is just for illustration purposes. There's no actual need to do this. The whole process was completed when that InitDB routine finished. So again, we're going to sign in. As you can see, we're not in local mode and our database matches. So there you have the InitDB routine. As always, if any of our resellers have questions on this process, please feel free to call or email. We appreciate the feedback. Have a great day.